So I had contemplated the idea of us doing like a bit of a review of a lot, like the Star Wars film franchise, and we could still do that because you've seen more of them now. So, but what I was thinking of, at least just as a prelude to that, is this whole discussion around whether Star Wars: A New Hope or The Empire Strikes Back, which one's the better film, and I know that gets people into an argument. One thing I'll say off the top. Those two films, from my perspective, are peak Star Wars. After that, Return of the Jedi, maybe a third of it was peak Star Wars. Yeah. But then after that, not that I didn't enjoy what came after that, but I don't think it sort of reached that level of, when you think of the concept of what was put on screen, those two films are really the benchmark as far as I'm concerned. But then it becomes, well, which one's better? And there's the argument, obviously, that The Empire Strikes Back was better, kind of Godfather Part 2 style. I personally am always actually thinking that A New Hope was the better film, because if you actually think about it, you don't need any other Star Wars film, TV show, series, whatever that's come out to watch that film, because you don't need any other point of reference. You can just watch that cold and it's fine. Whereas I think with The Empire Strikes Back, you do. So, but that's not to say The Empire Strikes Back's not a good film. It's just that it's a sequel. Like it's very clearly a sequel to something else. At least that's my perspective on it anyway.
Oh, I couldn't agree more with you. Look, Empire Strikes Back is one of my favourite Star Wars films, no question. But it's sandwiched in the middle of Star Wars. I can't even remember what the original title is.
A New Hope.
Yeah, A New Hope and Return of the Jedi. Yeah, there we go. So it's sandwiched in between. And I think that for me, when I saw Empire Strikes Back, you've got A New Hope right with you, and it's the continuation. And the first part of Empire Strikes Back is gripping when they're on the ice planet, and and then it does fall away sort of in the middle, but then it picks up again at the end, and you've got the shock reveal of Darth Vader, So for me, it was, I always preferred Empire Strikes Back, but you couldn't enjoy Empire Strikes Back without having seen the original Star Wars first.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. And I think that, better film, maybe not. More enjoyable, well, if you've seen A New Hope, yes.
Yeah, well, that's why we love these things, and they're subjective. Because, I mean, ultimately, they're like I said, both of them are fantastic. I think, for me, it's clear The Empire Strikes Back has more depth to it. There's more going on in terms of the nuances, I guess, because it wasn't quite as good guys versus bad guys scenario, like straight up, I think, in The Empire Strikes Back. So it's difficult because you can kind of see the pros and cons with both. But yeah, that was kind of where I was sitting, because like I said, if I was going to recommend, this is your entree into Star Wars, I'm going to be sending them to A New Hope first.
Oh, well, you've got to see them in that order. I think even if you were to watch all 9 Star Wars films, you'd have to start with A New Hope.
But Lucas would want you to start with The Phantom Menace, of course, but we won't go there.
I actually think if you watch them in the order that he made them, you're probably pretty close to the best telling of the story, because as I found, going back to the prequels, much later than anyone else probably, I was amazed at how rich the backstory was. Some of it you could say was a little bit overdone, but I was impressed with the backstory and how it unlocks so much enjoyment of those first 3 films. Anyway,
absolutely.
We could talk about this for days as well,
and we might pick that up again at some point in the future. It's a good thing to talk about.
Yeah, it is. Wow. Star Wars is one of those things you can talk about forever, and you'll still be able to talk about it again tomorrow.